Ooh. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry that I look fairly unprofessional. I was actually working on some makeup techniques since I am a theater person, and remembered I had to do this video, so you guys get to see my first attempt handiwork at this style. It has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm talking about today, though, so I feel a little bad about that. Sorry. But there's only so many hours in a day. The books I want to talk to you about today are some that I discovered in college. My first year of college, I went to a private Christian school, which was a great experience. It was a totally different scene for me, not having grown up around anything like that. And I learned a lot. Like, I learned a lot about like debates in religion throughout history. I learned a lot about evidence on either side that I never knew existed. I just learned a lot about people in general too, like a lot of great things. And I put as much of myself into the experience as possible, exploring religion and especially exploring modern views on religion, Christianity specifically. And I have some books that I want to recommend to you, whether or not you're a Christian. This is coming from somebody that was not raised Christian, didn't identify with it, but is really fascinated by a lot of the concepts and and I was really surprised by how different modern Christianity is than all of the old stuff that both Christians and atheists will throw into people's faces as arguments for or against Christianity. And I really like the two authors that I'm going to talk about today. The first one is Kevin DeYoung. He wrote a book called Just Do Something, The Liberating Approach to Finding God's Will. And I like this. One of my professors actually did a whole section of his teaching based on this book, and I was going to recommend it if there were enough copies. It's, I just love the background thing. Hyper-spiritual approaches to finding God's will don't work. It's time to try something new. Give up. And it's, the point of it is that it kind of goes against the idea that God is pushing you each step of the way to do every little decision you make. You've got to do something, but listen for guidance. And no matter what religion you identify with, I like the message in this book that, you have more control over yourself than you might think. And that you'll find some of the best lessons, some of the best spiritual educational and personal lessons just from getting out and doing things, even if that means making mistakes. So I definitely recommend Just Do Something by Kevin DeYoung. The other two books are both by Brett McCracken. You may have heard of Hipster Christianity before. It's one that I'm actually reading for the second time. It talks a lot about, actually I'll talk about these at the same time. The kind of sequel to it is called Gray Matters. Both of them talk about the discrepancies in religion that just don't coincide with modern life. Things that are not talked about specifically in the Bible. Things like, things that weren't invented, for one thing. Laws that hadn't been made, nations that didn't exist. How much can we take literally from a book written so long ago in this modern age? And this talks about that in a way that is not directional. It's not telling you what to do or what to think. It's one man's the man did a lot of research, lots of interpretation. It's very open-minded writing for those that are afraid these are going to be too religious or too not religious. That they're what's the word? What is that word? Why can't I think of it? Oh my gosh. Blasphemous. Blasphemous, that's what it is. Spoken word action against the church. No, these are two very respectable, very creative, genius Christian authors writing about some really difficult topics. And I think, first of all, they're some of the most entertaining things that I've read in a long time. Especially, I love Brett McCracken's style of writing. It is written to 20-somethings questioning their entire lives. If you are not religious, I highly recommend you read this. If you are religious, I highly recommend you read these books. Hipster Christianity is a good one to read first, by Brett McCracken. Gray Matters. I read them in the opposite order, but I think Hipster Christianity is a better introduction. And Just Do Something, by Kevin DeYoung. This one is the fastest one that you'll read. You could do it in a day, but it gives a new perspective, and I think the best thing that anyone can do for themselves, no matter what part of the world, what lifestyle they have, what anything about the age, whatever, the best thing you can do is educate yourself on other people's opinions. This kind of goes with like my last video about the textbooks on feminism. No matter what side you're on, even though I don't think there are sides, especially with something like this, learn about others. In turn, you'll learn so much about yourself, you won't know what to do with all of it. But it'll make things a lot clearer for you. So I really recommend these books, and I can't wait to hear about them if you guys read them. Or if you have read them, just let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree, whatever. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.